I'm teaching people. I want to teach people. Whatever is in them, I want the best to come out of them. That's an effective leader. A leader should never feel intimidated. A leader should never feel that if I show someone something, they're going to supersede me. In a session with a client the other day, she said, "You never change. We watch the way you walk. We watch the way you move. You never change. You never get upset. Even if you're under pressure, you never look under pressure. You stay the same every day. You walk through those doors and you stay the same every day." I said, "Oh, y'all really watch me, don't you?" As a leader, that's what you want. You don't want to come through the door and you can see it all over your face. You don't want people to look at you on an everyday basis and they can see that you're stressed out. As long as the people that you're leading, you don't show it to them. That's an effective leader, because you're good under pressure. You're good under everything, because you still got to know who your main source is. I tell everybody, my main source is God. If I don't have him, I don't have anything.
If someone maybe had a relationship with God, a relationship with Jesus, how do they get grounded in him, be able to live the life that you've been talking about? We're bringing great corporate leaders, entrepreneurs on this podcast to help you in regards to what you're trying to do for your business and also your organization. Look, the way we can continue to bring in that constant value constantly is going to be when you hit that subscribe button. It's going to help us in what we're doing for our mission. If you're an entrepreneur, corporate leader, Fortune 500 leader, whatever it is, faith-based person that is looking to continue to elevate themselves at a different level, this is going to help us bring in the top tier talent that you're looking to hear from. So when you hit that subscribe button, that helps us in our mission and what we're trying to accomplish to help you. Looking back on your journey from ministry, law enforcement, to life coaching, and even working corporately, what's one defining moment that changed the way you see leadership today?
The defining moment that the way that I see it change leadership today is, how do you carry yourself as a leader? Are you the example? Are you leading the people the right way? Or are you just that mediocre person that's out there not doing what you're really supposed to do? Because being a leader is a leader. Because you got to realize you're leading people to something, from something to something. And I found out growing up, even when I was growing up, my father was a leader. So I watched my dad, because coming from the Vietnam War and then being in law enforcement, he started as a police officer. Then he went to Georgia State Patrol and did 30 years and retired from that. But then not only that, I watched my uncle, his brother, become Georgia State Patrol, retire from that, then become a commissioner for our county, which is a small town in Georgia. You don't hardly see people coming from a small town. Now here it is, he's the highway patrol, head of the highway patrol for the governor. So I've watched leaders, so it made me become a leader, because I watched leaders. And when you see leaders today, they have to have that aspect of, what am I leading? What's my purpose? Because you have to have a purpose. Not only a purpose, that purpose got to take you somewhere.
Right.
You're always leading, never letting anything. Yes, we're going to have life challenges, but as a leader, don't let everybody see what you're going through, but continue to lead them through all the stuff that you go through.
That's deep. That's powerful.
Yes.
When you dive into the evolution of leadership, but where it's going right now, how it's affecting people corporately, is affecting a personal growth aspect of who you may be too. Like, what do you think the future of leadership is going today, and how it's changing from what it used to be?
The future of where I see leadership is going today is, we got to get back, and I have to go back to what I've saw, what I've learned, and what I've gone through. I have to go, like, even in ministry, when I dive into leadership today and where I see it going, I see God taking us back to the foundation. We got to go back to the foundation. And when I say that, I always have to go to the book of Ezekiel, because he told Ezekiel, he said, we got to go back to the old landmark. So we got to go back to the old landmark. That's the foundation. So I see as going into leadership today, we have to go back to what we started.
Right.
We can't veer to the left or the right. We got to continue to stay focused. It may not seem like it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if it worked for them, it'll work for us. And we have to stay on that road, that foundation, and don't deviate from it. Because of the simple fact, if we deviate from it, we're diluting it. And I feel that a lot of leaders are diluting leadership today.
How do you define great leadership?
How do you define great leadership? A lot of people think you define great leadership in wealth. A lot of people think you define great leadership in all the aspects of things that you... I define great leadership, you can take nothing and make something.
Like that. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because like, do you think, because there's some people now, like, they get the title.
Yes.
But they don't know how to lead. And I was talking to someone about this literally yesterday, from a corporation, about there's some people that, like, they lead, they get the leadership position, they gatekeep information. They don't want to pass it on to the other folks that their work under them to help them grow. And they think that, like, if I give too much, then they're going to surpass me. And then it looks bad on their performance review because they're not helping their team get better. What's your thoughts on, like, the type of leader that you have to be? Is like either a multiplier or diminisher? Like, what kind of leader today can be evolved into the leader that they're supposed to be? What's that look to you?
What they look like to me is, even growing up, even when you're in sports, you got to have a coach. Coach is the leader. Even I'm with Amazon. I'm a manager. I went from coming through the door. This is my 11th year. Now I'm an L5. So I've led so many people. It doesn't matter if they supersede me. It makes me look better.
Right.
If we get that mindset, see, we have to change our mindset. If we can get the mindset that no matter how I lead, no matter how far they go, it still makes me and still makes my resume look good, because I'm a leader. I'm teaching people. I want to teach people. I want people, whatever is in them, I want the best to come out of them, whether it's farther than me or not. But I still want them, because that's an effective leader. A leader should never feel intimidated. A leader should never feel that if I show someone something, they're going to supersede me.
Right.
No. That's your job, is to lead, to make the best in that person.
I feel that. Because I feel that there's it. Why are we here? Is it to, you might have, some people might have a goal of, like, I want to hit this monetary goal.
Yes.
Okay, you hit that. But there's people that that are just coming in, that are fresh, that or under you, that want to learn more, that want to be better.
Yes.
But we're holding them back. Like, what's the true purpose of why we're there? And I like what you said, like, what it came to me was die to ego. Die to pride.
Yes.
Die to self.
Die to all of that.
So you can be able to give your best self.
Yes, every day.
Oof.
But you got to give your best every day.
Every day.
Even when you feel like it, even when you don't feel like it, you still got to give your best. Prime example, I was in a session with a client the other day, and she works at Amazon. She said, "You never change." She said, "We watch you. We watch the way you walk. We watch the way you move. You never change. You never get upset. Even if you under pressure, you never look under pressure." They said, "You stay the same every day. You walk through those doors and you stay the same every day." I said, "Oh, y'all really watch me, don't you?"
Hey.
But as a leader, that's what you want. You don't want to come through the door and you can see it all over your face.
Yeah.
You don't want people to look at you on an everyday basis and they can see that you're stressed out, you worried. It doesn't matter what type of pressure you're under. Long as the people that you're leading, you don't show it to them. That's an effective leader, because you're good under pressure, under or without pressure. You're good. You're good under stress. You're good under everything, because you still got to know who your main source is. And I tell everybody, my main source is God.
Yes, sir.
If I don't have him, I don't have anything. Then I look back over my life. I have 2 sons, so I got to lead them. I have 2 daughters. I got to lead them. Then I got grandchildren, so I have to lead them. Not only that, now I have a wife, so I got to be a leader to her also. So all aspects of our life, we got to lead.
When it comes to emotional intelligence, kind of piggybacking off what you said, going into the workplace, hey, Raymond, you've been the same every day. Like, how do you keep that up? And it sounds like you have a great emotional intelligence, someone that knows how to handle situations and not have an outburst immediately, but you keep your demeanor. And that looks like it sources from your faith as well.
Yes.
Can you dive in more into that on, how do good leaders manage their emotional intelligence?
It's not easy, but like I just said, I take everything to God and I take it into prayer. Yes, I'm under pressure, but I'll step off the floor. I'll go into the bathroom, which I call sometimes my secret closet, get my composure back together, then go back to the floor. Go in there and say me a prayer, talk to God, and get myself back together, because I know I'm not going to give an outburst. And I tell people that all the time, even though we're leaders, you don't just give an outburst because you don't know the outcome of that outburst, how much damage you're going to do.
Right.
You don't know how you're going to affect that person or how it's going to affect you. So just step away sometimes. It's all right to step away and come back to it. But get yourself.
Yeah, get yourself centered.
Get yourself centered.
I mean, when you think about it, you have a life coaching background as well. How do you coach leaders effectively to balance their emotions and to be able to have a balance of strength and authenticity throughout their entire journey?
I coach leaders. I tell leaders, in order for you to coach another person, it's all right to coach people. And we have you got to look at life coaching. There's so many life coaches, still not enough life coaches out there today. But are you an effective life coach?
Right.
Are you a leader as a life coach? Because anybody can say, I'm a life coach. So when I look at that, are you leading the people the right way? Don't get so emotional hearing someone's story. Because if you get so emotional, you'll get tired of it. You can't help that person. You got to back up. And I tell people, you got to back up and you got to listen. Because a leader, the most effective tool that a leader has is listening.
So you got to kind of back up from first person, look at it from third person.
Yes.
And assess the whole situation.
That's the whole situation.
And take your emotion out of it.
Yes.
That's hard. That's hard for people to do. It took me a minute to understand that for myself too. Yes. But once you begin to master it the best you can, yeah, you get you're like, okay, but it still can hit you though. Like you're like, oh my gosh, but you got to remember, okay, let me step out, let me look at the whole situation. Okay, so but continue. I just had a flashback.
Yeah, because you look at it. Even I tell people, you got to look at it like this. As a leader, you play football. The coach gave you the instruction. A lot of times you may say, well, coach ain't right. But you did what coach said, right?
Right.
Same thing in life. A lot of times the leader may not be right, but they still leading you because they've either experienced it or they've gone through it or they have expertise in it.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
So when coach would come and tell us, we'd be like, coach ain't running these spring. Coach not having to shoot like this all. But coach said, if you want to play, I'm leading you in the right direction. I'm giving you all the tools to get you where you want to be. As a life coach, I sit and listen to people. A lot of people don't agree with me. And the way I life coach, I don't just sit there and listen to you. I'm going to give you some assignment. And most of the assignments, a lot of people, they'll tell me in the beginning, that's not me. I tell them, well, assessing the situation on what you've told me, if you apply this, it'll help you. You may not agree, but let's agree to disagree.
Putting you on the spot. I'm a leader. How do you, I need help with self-reflection. Help me with some self-reflection coaching so I can be a better leader in the workplace. I'm at Amazon.
You at Amazon, first of all, treat people, because everybody that walks through that door, they're here for a reason. It's either a family member, children, or something. They're here for a reason. Treat them like you want to be treated. Even though you may be a leader, even though you may be a manager, that's a human being, that's a father, that's a child. Treat them the way you want to be treated. And I guarantee you, these people will do anything you want them to do for you and in your department. A lot of times I treat people at Amazon the way they're human beings. They're not there. They're not coming through those doors for, just any reason. There's a reason why they're there. They're helping somebody. And I tell my peers, other managers, hey, yes, we have to write people up sometime. That's part of the job, but not everybody.
Right. Can't be like, you're written up. Everybody's written up.
We still got to have some people.
Right.
Be the example, because there's somebody that's watching you that wants to be where you're at.
Right.
And they want to know how to get there. And if you're an effective leader, because there's a difference, can be an effective leader or a leader.
Right.
I want to be an effective leader that I can lead a lot of times without even saying anything to them.
That's good leadership right there, and that goes back to the starting point where it's like you kind of taught them in a way to help them be able to feel comfortable, where you're giving them information they need to have success. You're not holding it back, and then they're able to do their job effectively where they have minimal questions, only if it's something big or a new assignment or something that they need to come to you.
Yes.
That's unique. When it comes to, all right, we're back. You're still on the spot. I'm stressed out, Raymond. How do I deal with this stress? I have 50 employees I'm in charge of. I have a lot of stress. How do I best handle this situation of employees coming to me, letting them know that they feel like I'm not as effective as a leader? How can I improve this stress that I'm getting from my team?
I just had this happen to me. I had a manager come to me, and they were stressed out. And I was on break one day, which I know I'm going to break by myself most of the time. And I was sitting, and then the manager came in and said, can I talk with you? And I'm like, on break, but sure.
Hey, is this picture? Sorry.
And the manager said, I'm trying to get my, she's at L4. She said, I'm trying to get L5. I said, you're doing it too hard. It's not that hard. She said, but how do you come in here every day and you're the same? I said, what I do is I don't take work home. I said, that's first thing that I do. I said, I do what I have to do here. I said, but I prioritize. What's the main thing? What's the main focus? I said, I don't get in these managerial battles with other managers. I just do what I have to do.
Right.
And do the best that I can do every day I come through the door. And I told that manager, be yourself. And still constantly treat people to and I told them, I challenged them, find you 3 a day. Find out something about them. Get to know them as a person, not just as a employee. Get to know something about them. And watch. You'll find yourself less stressed. And I told them, don't take this job on. Do what you can do here. Do what you're supposed to do here. And everything else will fall in line. And I told them, do you believe in God? I said, because God is my main source. I said, I take everything to God. There's nothing I can do without him. And that manager, it was so strange because I was invited to a church service. And me and my wife went, and guess who was sitting in the church service when we got there?
That person?
That manager.
Wait, but you didn't invite them like this?
No, I did not know.
Wow, that's
because it was church I normally help out. And the pastor there said, well, my brother's here. I want him to come up. And she was like, wow.
You're like, wow.
And so she came up. She said, now I see how the way that you are, this is why the way that you are. Looking at you in your elements.
Right.
She said, you got to have God. And she told the people at the church, she said, I work with him and this man never changes. And everybody was telling her, no, he stayed the same. We watched him over the years and he loves helping people. Because the church that she was at, I helped them they was up under my leadership. I love helping people. That's my excitement. That's my excitement in life. That's what I instill in my children. That's what I instill in everybody that I connect with. Help somebody else along the way.
Powerful. How do you help people connect with their purpose?
How do I help people connect with their purpose is I empty them out first. And I guess you're saying, well, how do you empty them out? It seems a little scriptural here. This is good. I empty them out first. And I tell people, if you choose me as a life coach, whatever is inside of you, we're going to empty you out first, and then we're going to rebuild you. We're going to remake you and reshape you. Because I got to reshape your mindset, how you feel about yourself.
Right.
Because if you don't love yourself, you'll never be able to make it in life.
Right.
I tell everybody that I come in contact with, if you get up every morning, you see the same person every day. When you arrive and you look in the mirror, what do you tell that person? When I get up in the morning times, I look in the mirror and I look at myself. First of all, I got to tell that person, I love you. I love everything about you. And then I tell that person, this is how we're going to start our day. This is what we're going to do today. Because I don't want the old person from yesterday.
Right.
It's a new day.
It's a brand new day.
A brand new day.
You can't love others if you don't love yourself.
Love yourself.
Like literally, yeah, it makes sense. Like if you don't love yourself, how can you pour into other people the way you want to be poured into?
Yes.
Like crazy. But I like the point you said. Just you empty them out first. You help start from the foundation, the concrete. Yes. And then you build up. I mean, that makes complete sense. Like it's hard to just jump into an area where it's just like let's just start from where you're at right now. And it's like, well, we need to get to the root.
Yeah.
Gotta cut some things off.
You gotta go back. And I tell people, getting me as a life coach, because we as humans, we have hid so much over the years. Yeah. And we suppressed it. So we got to go back all the way to your childhood because you suppressed some things. Right. And there's some things you never dealt with and you think it's not still there, but it's still there. So let's go back to from the very beginning and work our way back up to now.
I love that. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the key mindset to have when even rebuilding from any other place. I mean, I feel like when I'll give you a quick testimony, just like I feel like that's what God did to me. Like he rebuilt my entire life, from releasing ego, releasing pride, and then being able to get into the true root of who I am. Not a bad person, but just like there's little parts of ourselves that we think, oh yeah, we're okay, but we're really just one centimeter away from slipping up and doing something wrong. So we need to like get it all off. I love what you said, get it all off and start from the bare minimum to be able to build yourself up. Yeah. What would you say on some actionable steps for people that are watching right now that truly want to make change in their lives, but just don't know where to start? And it could be corporately, it could be I'm an entrepreneur, I'm in AI. What would you say, like, that from the viewers, how can they apply some of your teachings of what you're breaking down to some of your clients?
First of all, I would tell them, look in the mirror, and I would ask them, what do you see? Is that the person that you're looking at? Do you like that person? How do you feel about that person that you look at every day? Because you're the first person to look at that person. How do you feel about that person? Do you like where that person is at right now?
Right.
If you don't like what you see and you see things, it's time for you to start. Find you somebody that can pour into you. Because we can't do it all by ourselves. Gotta find someone, find your life coach, find you somebody that can help you along the way. A lot of people feel like that they don't need anybody. No, we need somebody. And the years that I grew up in, that's how we was taught. We was taught as young men, because I'll be 56 this year. We was taught.
Man, young.
Yeah, we was taught that you don't show your emotions. You a man. That's how we was taught. Yes, we suppressed a lot of things. And I can share today, I lost my mom when I was 10 years old. So I had a lot of hurt, and I carried it for years until God spoke to me and told me, it's time for you to deal with this. You suppressed it too long. So I went to counseling. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't need, no, we need it. We need it this day and time. We need a counselor, we need therapy, we need a coach to help us along the way that we can get rid of a lot of things that you feel better about yourself. And you'll see the best person that's really inside of you. A lot of people just have not seen the best person that's inside of them.
Right.
So they're just coping along the way.
Right, the stacking there.
Yes, and then a lot of people that you'll find out, a lot of people that you see just coping along the way, that's how drugs come in, that's how alcohol is, that's how all this other stuff creeps in, because they're just coping along the way. They think they're happy, but they're really not happy, because the inner core is where they have suppressed it at.
Right.
So we got to get it from the inner core out of them.
That bitterness, that unforgiveness, all of it, that's inside.
It's inside.
Gotta release that to be free.
And that's how we got so sick. Because what's on the inside, it is affected. So if you infected something on the inside, it tears down the body. You get that fixed, some of the medicine and things that you were taking, you stop taking them because you fixed the inside.
Yeah, that is, oh man, that's good. No, that's good, because that's real. I think people think, kind of living in, I like The Matrix, the movie, but people think like, man, I got to take all these pills, it's going to solve it. Where do you think pills are made from? They're made in the lab sometimes, but like they're made out of some natural extracts, and some artificial things. But yeah, when you take care of there's like, if you have heavy bitterness in your heart because of someone or a situation, but you release that and let it go, that could stop a heart attack.
Yes.
That could stop a heart attack. That could stop a stroke.
No.
No, that just made me, no, you're hitting on some good stuff. But continue, keep going.
Yes, today's world, where we're headed at, AI and everything, we can't forget about the foundation.
Yes.
We can't. Yes, AI, we need it. Hey, we're not going to get past it, but don't forget the foundation.
Right. The foundation is key. How can, I got last two for you. When it comes to the future of AI in leadership, what does that look like?
Right now, it looks very, as far as leadership, it doesn't look good.
How so?
Especially in corporate America right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so much technology that's taking over and taking the position of the leader.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to lead a machine?
Right, that's true.
The machine can't talk back to you.
It's going to lead a machine leading employees.
Yeah. The machine has no feeling. It's a machine. You're programming it, but it can't program you.
Right.
So it's going to be tough.
It'll be a tough one unless they create an robot, the Will Smith movie.
Yes.
Where he had like feelings at the
Yes.
but that makes sense. It is a unique space right now. And yeah, you got AI. I've seen an AI CEO of a company. Yes. Like someone made it like
What's so
an AI CEO already like and it's still early stages of AI.
Still early stages. There's so much that's coming.
It's crazy.
You know, but I still say we still going to have to stay. First of all, this is what we got to look at. God created everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you have God, he's going to take care of you.
Right.
If you don't have God, he's not going to take care of you. Nothing he told us in his word, nothing is new. Nothing is new. He said, I'm the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore.
Right.
So I tell my children, yes, this stuff is here, but where's God in your life?
Right. That's true.
He's going to take care of his own.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Got one more question for you. I think people need to hear this because I love the topic on faith. If someone maybe had a relationship with God, relationship with Jesus, Holy Spirit, some people don't know what that means, don't understand how all three correlate. And then also, how do they get grounded in him to be able to live the life that you've been talking about? How do you break that down for them, for those who just don't know, or they used to be in church and then they left? Give them that, what they need to hear on that.
What they need is to find someone that's going to be true and real to them. We've had so many, and I have to say this, we've had so many leaders that have done so many different things, and in the religious era, to the point to where you don't know who's doing it sincere,
Right.
who's doing it for gain, who's doing it for popularity. Find you someone that are doing it for real.
Correct.
And that's what I tell people. I've never, the 30 plus years that I've been in ministry, I never put a price on anybody. Because of the simple fact, God said, if you do it for me, I'll take care of you. You don't have to do anything different to my people.
Right.
Because he said in his word, suffer my little children from coming unto me. That's everybody. Don't matter the age, we all still a child of God.
Right.
And so when you find that person that has strayed away from church hurt, find you someone that will pray with you, find you someone that will read with you, find you somebody that will sit and talk to you about the word and about God, that you can find that person that really loves God that's still inside of you to get you back where you need to be. Because he hasn't gone anywhere.
Man.
He told us in his word, he said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. We leave him. He don't leave us.
Right. so we dip out.
We stray away.
Right.
But you got to realize what he said in his word. He said, train up a child in the way it should go. People think it's got to be a little bitty child. No. You can be 50, 60, 70 years old. You're still a child of God. He said, train up a child in the way it should go and never depart from them. God will never depart from you. He's always waiting on you with open arms to receive you back. Are you willing to go back? Right. That's the question I have. Are you willing to go back? Not from what you saw from people, because what you got to realize is all of us are human beings. We got our own mind. God, he didn't make any of us alike. All of us are different. Everybody's not the same. Even though you may have been hurt in the church or if somebody hurt you in the church, that wasn't the church. That was that individual. Right. God didn't do it. Right. So you can't hold that inside of you and continue to go.
So I really appreciate you talking on the faith portion on how to get, how people can transition, how people can basically have a foundation of maybe they weren't in church or maybe they're trying to find their way to understand, more about God and understand their faith. So thank you for breaking that down, because that helps us understand like exactly how to pursue and how to have that balance that you're having in your life. So thank you. Now, when it comes to this white envelope on the table, I know you've been curious about it all day since we've been here. I want you to go ahead and open it. And there's a question in there from the previous guest. I want you to go ahead and answer that question that's inside. I want you to say their name.
It says from Mary was
Carniglia. Yeah, sorry. What question did she leave?
What value do you hope to demonstrate each day? The value that I hope to demonstrate each day is to be a person that someone will look at that has integrity, that has respect, that has love, that shows the most confident person that will never look at anyone in any other type of way, because I want to be that example, that when someone looks up on me, that they'll be able to say, I may not be like him, but I want to walk in the same wall and feel what he feels along each and every day.
Powerful. Man. That's definitely, yeah. I'm going to have to take that quote. Take that quote. So now let's pass it on to the next person. There's a white envelope in front of you, and we want you to go ahead and write a question to the person that's going to be next on the show. So go ahead and you can write a brand new note for the next guest. For those who have been lost in leadership, for those who don't know what's the next step, just know that there's a new wave of leadership coming or already here. Adaptability, emotional intelligence, and showing up for your people. Thank you so much for tuning in, Raymond. Awesome having you.
Thank you.